Welcome to Martial Mastery Media, the channel where we dive deep into the history, philosophy, and combat traditions of martial arts around the world. If you're passionate about how warriors of the past trained, fought, and lived, you've come to the right place. Today, we explore the world of the samurai, Japan's legendary warrior class, whose martial systems, honor codes, and training continue to shape modern martial arts. Before we begin, subscribe to Martial Mastery Media and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends, family, and fellow martial artists. Also, check out our catalog of videos on martial arts masters, legends, and techniques to keep the journey going. For those who love mysteries beyond combat, visit our other channels, Galactic Secrets, Exploring Space, Time, and Extraterrestrial Theories, and Myths Through Time, uncovering ancient gods, legends, and epic myths. Links are in the description below. Thank you for being part of the Martial Mastery Media community. Now, let's step into the world of the samurai. 1. The samurai world, who they were and why their martial arts mattered. The samurai were not simply warriors who fought battles, they were a class that defined the political, cultural, and ethical fabric of Japan for nearly 1,000 years. Emerging around the late Heian period, 8th–12th centuries, samurai began as provincial warriors serving aristocrats, but by the Kamakura and Muromachi periods, they became Japan's ruling military elite. By the Sengoku era, 15th–16th centuries, samurai identity was inseparable from the endless wars between rival clans, while the Edo period, 17th–19th centuries, redefined them as administrators, peacekeepers, and cultural figures under Tokugawa rule. Their martial arts were not only practical survival tools for the battlefield but also marks of refinement and social prestige. To be a samurai was to embody the dual way of the brush and the sword, martial prowess balanced with cultural cultivation. At the heart of this balance was Bushido, the way of the warrior, an ethical code emphasizing loyalty, courage, honor, respect, and self-mastery. Samurai martial training was therefore more than technique. It was a process of moral and spiritual development. A swordsman who could not control his anger or a general who could not maintain loyalty was seen as incomplete, no matter his technical ability. In this way, the samurai represented an ideal, to live and die by principles as much as by skill. Their martial arts became tools for shaping not just warriors but complete human beings. 2. What martial arts did samurai actually train in? The core disciplines. Samurai training was comprehensive. Unlike modern martial artists who often specialize in one or two arts, the samurai had to be versatile on the battlefield, able to fight with weapons, unarmed, mounted, or in formation. Their curriculum, preserved in Koryu Bujutsu, old martial schools, included a wide spectrum of disciplines: kenjutsu, swordsmanship, the central art of the samurai, embodying skill with the katana and tachi. Kenjutsu wasn't just about attacking and defending, it was about controlling rhythm, distance, and the opponent's spirit. Samurai practiced kata, paired drills, and live sparring, while famous schools like Yagyu Shinkage-ryu and Kashima Shinto-ryu emphasized both lethal technique and strategy. Miyamoto Musashi's Niten Ichi-ryu introduced the radical two-sword style, symbolizing innovation within tradition. Iijutsu, Iaido, sword drawing and quick strike arts, samurai often faced sudden attacks or duels. Iijutsu trained the ability to draw the sword and strike in a single, decisive motion. It demanded incredible precision, calm awareness, and readiness at all times, teaching warriors that danger could come at any moment. Jiu-jitsu, grappling and close-quarters combat. When disarmed or too close for weapons, samurai relied on unarmed grappling. Jiu-jitsu integrated throws, pins, locks, chokes, and strikes, designed to work even in armor. Schools like Takenouchi-ryu created some of the earliest codified systems, influencing later arts like judo and aikido. Sojutsu, spear fighting, the yari, spear, was arguably more practical than the sword on the battlefield. Samurai trained in formations, long-range thrusts, and anti-cavalry maneuvers. Schools like Hozoan-ryu developed unique spearheads and tactics, ensuring the spear remained vital even after the rise of the katana. Naginata Jutsu, polearm fighting, the naginata combined reach and versatility, making it effective against cavalry and groups. Samurai women, Onna Bugisha, were also trained in this weapon for household defense, cementing its importance in samurai culture. Kyujutsu, Kyudo, archery, and Yabusame, mounted archery. Before the sword rose to iconic status, the bow was the true weapon of the samurai. Kyujutsu trained long-range battlefield archery, while Yabusame demanded mastery of horseback riding and precision shooting in motion. These arts combined technical rigor with ceremonial beauty. Bajutsu, horsemanship, a skilled cavalryman could dominate a battlefield. Bajutsu trained samurai in mounted swordsmanship, archery, spear techniques, and formation riding, reinforcing the symbiosis of horse and warrior. Bojutsu, staff arts. The staff was both practical and symbolic. Staff training developed reach, defense against blades, and non-lethal control, valuable in policing roles during the Edo period. Kusarigama-jutsu, chain and sickle techniques, specialized but deadly, kusarigama arts used entangling chains and curved sickles to trap weapons or strike at opponents unexpectedly. Hojojutsu, rope restraint, vital for law enforcement samurai. These methods allowed for capturing suspects with dignity, using knots suited to the prisoner's rank and social status. Hojutsu, firearms training. After firearms entered Japan in the 16th century, samurai incorporated them into tactics. Oda Nobunaga's disciplined arquebus volleys in the Battle of Nagashino, 1575, showcased how gunpowder weapons reshaped Japanese warfare. Tamashigiri, test cutting. Cutting rolled mats or bamboo wasn't just spectacle, it trained edge alignment, blade control, and the effectiveness of sword design. A skilled swordsman could slice cleanly through multiple targets, demonstrating mastery of both weapon and body mechanics. This wide-ranging curriculum ensured that a samurai was never unprepared. Whether facing massed troops, a charging horseman, or a sudden ambush in the street, their training provided solutions for every scenario. 3. Classical schools, Ruha, the organizations that taught samurai arts. Samurai martial knowledge wasn't passed randomly from master to student. It was carefully preserved through Ruha, martial traditions founded by warriors who had proven their skills on the battlefield or in duels. These schools were more than combat training centers, they were communities bound by ritual, secrecy, and loyalty. Techniques were guarded like treasures, often recorded in densho, scrolls, and transmitted through menkyo, licenses. Some of the most influential Ruha included Tenshin Shoden Katori Shinto-ryu, founded in the 15th century. It remains one of the oldest martial traditions still alive today. It offered a comprehensive curriculum, including Kenjutsu, Sojutsu, Naginata, Bojutsu, and even strategy and spiritual practices. Training in this school was not only physical but also ritual, grounding warriors in both technique and cosmology. Yagyu Shinkage-ryu, famous for its sword strategy, this school influenced the Tokugawa shogunate itself. Yagyu Munenori, its most celebrated master, became sword instructor to the shogun and wrote extensively on the mental and psychological dimensions of combat. Hyoho Nitten Ichi-ryu, founded by Miyamoto Musashi, Japan's most legendary duelist, the school emphasized two-sword fighting, Nito-ryu, and Musashi's strategic philosophy, later outlined in his book Go-Rin no Sho, the Book of Five Rings. Takenouchi-ryu, one of the earliest Jiu-jitsu systems, it emphasized grappling, weapon disarms, and armed-unarmed integration. Many later grappling arts trace their lineage here. Daito-ryu Eiki Jiu-jitsu, a system specializing in subtle joint locks, throws, and balance manipulation. It heavily influenced Morihei Ueshiba, the founder of Aikido. Hazoan-ryu, spear arts, renowned for its innovative spear designs and tactics, this school represented the spear's dominance on Sengoku battlefields. Joining a Ruha was like being adopted into a family. Students pledged oaths of loyalty, sometimes sworn before Shinto deities or Buddhist icons. Training was strict, often repetitive, but it instilled discipline and deep internalization of movements. Achieving Menkyo Kaiden, full transmission, meant a student was trusted with the entirety of the art, a profound responsibility to preserve and pass it on uncorrupted. 4. How samurai trained, pedagogy, methods, and the mind of practice. Samurai training was a lifelong journey, blending sweat, discipline, and philosophy. It wasn't about quick skill acquisition but about forging character over decades. Training combined practical drills, ritualized forms, and spiritual exercises. Kata, forms, prearranged patterns were central to Bujutsu. Each kata was like a living textbook, encoding combat principles into memorized sequences. Over years, kata transformed conscious technique into instinctive response. Paired practice, kumitachi, kumite, practicing with a partner allowed students to experience timing, rhythm, and psychological pressure. These exchanges taught how to read an opponent's intent and exploit openings. Tamashigiri, test cutting, cutting rolled tatami mats or bamboo honed blade alignment and striking efficiency. This practice showed whether the swordsman's form could deliver a true cut under pressure. Sparring with bokken and shinai, wooden swords allowed for harder contact and more realistic engagements. By the Edo period, protective armor, bogu, made kendo-style sparring possible, emphasizing spirit and timing. Kumi-uchi, armored grappling, samurai drilled grappling in armor, adapting throws and locks to limited mobility. These methods were invaluable in the crush of battle, where weapons could break or be lost. Mounted drills, barjutsu and yobusame, horsemanship required endless practice. Riders trained to balance, draw weapons, and shoot arrows while galloping at speed, often while wearing full armor. Physical conditioning, armor weighed anywhere from 20 to 40 kilograms. Running, climbing, swimming, and strength training were essential. Samurai often trained in rivers or on steep mountains to build endurance. Zen and Mushin, no mind, meditation was not optional, it was integral. Zen discipline taught warriors to remain calm under mortal threat. The ability to clear the mind, to act without hesitation, was considered the highest martial ability. Training was repetitive, rigorous, and spiritual, designed to make the samurai not just a fighter, but a person of inner strength and clarity. 5. Battlefield tactics versus dueling practices. Two different worlds. Samurai martial skills were shaped by two radically different environments. Battlefield warfare. In the Sengoku era, battles often involved thousands of troops. Infantry formations with spears, yari ashigaru, cavalry charges, coordinated firearm volleys, and sieges dominated. Here, the spear, naginata, and arquebus were often more decisive than the sword. Success depended on teamwork, discipline, and large-scale strategy. Duels and personal combat, on the other hand, duels represented the individual test of honor. A duel was often preceded by rituals, choosing location, agreeing to rules, or even composing death poems, jisei. Unlike chaotic battlefields, duels were intimate, psychological contests where timing, composure, and presence often mattered more than brute strength. These two worlds fed each other. Battlefield experience shaped the martial curriculum, while dueling refined the individual's mastery of timing, spirit, and the warrior's mind. 6. Famous duels and the art of psychological strategy. Dueling is where the samurai truly entered legend. The most famous duel in history is Miyamoto Musashi versus Sasaki Kojiro in 1612. Musashi arrived deliberately late, wielding a wooden sword carved from a boat oar. This seemingly careless act unsettled Kojiro. Musashi then controlled the duel with superior timing and strategy, delivering a decisive blow. The lesson was clear: psychological dominance is as powerful as technical skill. Other duels highlight cunning, some samurai feigned weakness, others provoked anger to make opponents reckless. Victory often went to the calmest mind, not the fastest blade. Ritualized preparation, from meditating to writing farewell poems, reflected the belief that a warrior must face death with clarity. 7. Ranks, social status, and instruction licenses. Menkyo. Within samurai society, rank and recognition mattered deeply. Feudal hierarchy placed the shogun at the top, followed by powerful daimyo, their retainers, and the lower samurai ranks. This order extended into martial schools. Mokuroku, catalog, a listing of techniques a student had been taught. Menkyo, license, recognition of mastery in significant portions of the curriculum. Menkyo Kaiden, full transmission, the highest license, meaning the master had entrusted the complete art. Unlike modern belt systems, these licenses weren't given for short-term progress. They often required decades of devotion. Holding a Menkyo Kaiden meant responsibility, loyalty, and preservation of the tradition. 8. Weapons, armor, and practical preparations. Samurai training revolved around their tools of war: armor, oyowa, dumaru, kabuto, designed to protect while allowing mobility. Learning to fight in armor was essential, as it changed posture, speed, and endurance. Swords. The katana was a spiritual symbol as much as a weapon. Samurai learned to maintain, polish, and understand their blades. Sword care was a form of meditation. Spears and naginata. Battlefield realities meant samurai drilled extensively with long weapons, practicing massed thrusts and coordinated maneuvers. Firearms. After the 1500s, matchlocks demanded discipline and new tactics like volley fire. Samurai adapted, showing their pragmatic side. Training tools. Wooden swords, bokken, bamboo swords, shinai, and practice weapons allowed safe yet vigorous practice, while tamashigiri offered real-world cutting tests. 9. Women and the warrior tradition. Honor bagisha and naginata. The samurai tradition wasn't purely male. Women of the warrior class, known as honor bagisha, trained primarily with the naginata to defend households in times of war. Figures like Tomoe Gozen, a legendary female warrior, exemplify women's active role in combat during Japan's early medieval period. By the Edo era, naginata training became formalized for women, symbolizing both martial spirit and household defense. Today, naginata-do survives largely through female practitioners, a direct continuation of this tradition. 10. Cultural disciplines that made samurai complete warriors. To be a samurai was to embody balance, ferocity tempered with refinement. Beyond combat, samurai studied calligraphy, poetry, painting, and tea ceremony, chano wayu. These practices cultivated patience, mindfulness, and elegance. A warrior who could write a refined death poem was seen as complete, embodying both strength and sensitivity. Zen aesthetics infused all of these arts, teaching warriors to value simplicity, presence, and discipline. This cultural training ensured that samurai were not brutes but refined leaders who could govern as well as fight. 11. The Meiji transformation, from class to modern martial arts. With the Meiji Restoration in 1868, the samurai class was abolished. Carrying swords in public was banned, and the feudal order dissolved. Yet their martial legacy survived by transforming into modern disciplines. Kendo evolved from kenjutsu, focusing on personal development, sportsmanship, and spirit. Judo, created by Jigoro Kano, distilled Jiu-jitsu into a safe, educational martial art that spread worldwide. Aikido, developed by Morihei Ueshiba, took inspiration from Daito-ryu and emphasized harmony, blending, and spiritual ideals. In this way, the spirit of samurai training outlived the class system, adapting to a modern world while preserving timeless values. 12. The samurai legacy. Why it matters today. The samurai era left an enduring legacy. Modern martial artists, whether practicing judo throws, aikido blending, or kendo strikes, carry fragments of samurai training. The principles of bushido, discipline, kata, and strategy, heiho, continue to shape martial practice today. Studying samurai martial arts is more than learning how they fought. It reveals how warriors lived, thought, and refined themselves, lessons in resilience, honor, and inner strength that transcend time. The samurai may be gone as a class, but their martial wisdom still whispers in every dojo, every duel, and every practitioner striving for mastery. Call to action. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to Martial Mastery Media and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Be sure to like this video and share it with your friends, family, and fellow martial artists. Help us grow the community and keep warrior history alive. Join the Martial Mastery community, where together we celebrate the history, philosophy, and techniques of warriors from around the world. Explore our catalog of videos on martial arts masters, techniques, and legends for even more deep dives into combat traditions. And if you love mysteries beyond martial arts, check out our other channels, Galactic Secrets and Myths Through Time. Links are in the description below. Thank you for being part of the Martial Mastery Media community. Your support keeps this history alive and thriving.